Peace, my family, and we're back to those coming out of their good cocoon for the first time. Welcome. This your girl, the butterfly, and we about to take off. Let's fly. Just want to send you all that good healing energy your way. Peace, love, happiness, harmony, and abundance. Hope you guys are out there keeping your mind right in that good mind. How y'all feeling today? Hope you guys most definitely moving on up in your higher natures and cleansing. Oh yeah, cleansing the loves. I came out here today to express family and then checking in on y'all. How y'all feeling? Hope you guys are doing well, keeping your spirits up, because it's going to be so much needed on this good journey with them. Family, if you're going on this good journey within and you're walking into the unknown, and you're checking out the right knowledge, and you're getting your reading on, you're getting your studying on, and getting your research on. It's all a beautiful thing. Just know, trust the process, trust the journey, because through time, oh man, if you keep going, you keep reading, you keep going to the next scroll, the next pamphlet, and the next pamphlet, oh man, everything will begin to open up for you. Mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, you begin to get your mind right. And oh man, I know that some of the things that's being said, of course, you'll express all different types of emotions, but family, all of this is needed on this good journey so you can begin to truly understand what is happening here on this planet. So if you're ready and prepared, check it out. Alright now, so on this good journey, I just want to send out a reminder. You're on this journey, you got to make sure, and this is my experience, right, and this is what I do, so I'm just telling you these things because it can help you out. So this is what I do. Now, you always try to keep your mind focused on the Most High every day. And the Most High appointed omnipotent Jesus, Yahshua, Tammuz, Horus, Harun, and we must understand that with all of those things that I just said, with all of those different titles and words, all of those cultures, each word that I named, all those cultures, right? All those religions, right? All those religions and culture, right? Religions and culture. All those matter to build you up, right? The different schools, all of it matters to build you up, depending on where you started and where you are. All of it builds you up, because again, sad to say, but a lot of people don't read, so all of it will help you build you up to where you need to be. Understand where things come from. How are you going to know if you don't check it out and know the past, even if certain things in it is, something you have to question, something you have to research, something you got to check out, right? You still got to go through it and check it out so you will understand and overstand and begin to truly know what's going on for yourself and for your spirit, for your soul, so you won't be deceived and tricked out here. That's why it's important to go through the schools. And once you begin to go through the schools of Christism, Mohammedanism, Judaism, you begin to go through the schools, and there's other scrolls and things like that. Go through those schools. You begin to lead up to the Sumerian doctrine, and then, Nuwapian, Egyptian culture, our true way of life, right? All of it matters so you can begin to understand what's happening here. And as you begin to read and break things down, you begin to see that. If you go on my videos from the very beginning and what scroll I started with, because that's what I started with on my good journey within. So the mind book is what I started with to keep my mind right. So that helped me, and I'm just sharing my journey, because that's how I did it. Went through all of these scrolls, right? And so it just opened up my mind and got my mind right, got my spirit right, got my soul right. And again, once you begin to feed yourself, your body eventually will follow. You begin to do what you need to do physically, and you begin to not want to do those things anymore because you already know what's up. You already know what's up. So you don't need to be doing that no more. And eventually you want to break away because you are fed, family. You are fed the spiritual knowledge, the right knowledge. You are fed in the way you need to be, rightfully guided. Yes. This is what I'm saying, right? So that's what it's about. And our master teacher, Dr. Malachi L, has done that for us, has rightfully guided us in the way that we should go. So, in the way to get back to the Most High, right? So, that's what this is about. Now, whether people really understand this or not, the only way you're going to really know is you got to read, right? You can get information from me, you get the information from anyone else, but for you to really understand and get to know the facts and the science behind things and study, you're going to have to check out the scrolls. Check out the scrolls for yourself, because that right there is really going to take you on up and get your frequencies where you need to be and vibrations where you need to be more heightened, and you'll get to reach your dormant, power, things that, needs to come out of you, your gifts and things like that, as you begin to raise your consciousness of what DNA explosions, all this that to remind and remember, who you are. So you have to remember that all of it matters. All of this matters, right? If you want to know the truth of it all, right? And again, once you begin to really see things for what they are, getting emotions, learning how to get emotions aside, right? Just having the facts and the science for what they are. Of course, you're going to experience different emotions, but you have to remember emotions aside, family, because we've been lied to. And once you gather all the facts and the science behind it and understand the history behind the religions and things, you begin to have a bigger picture of it all and an inner knowing of it all. And no one can tell you nothing that you don't already know, right? Because you didn't done your homework. You didn't study. You didn't read, right? So, remember, this is information and the right knowledge from the Most High, the universal knowledge, right? All of it matters, right? So again, that's why it's so important to check this stuff out for your soul, for your spirit, so you can begin to truly understand why you're here and what this room is about, and so much more. The realms of existence, the planes, the 7 heavens, the 9 heavens, Yeah, it's boundless, right? So you begin to really see the world for what it truly is, the reality of it all. And once you begin to open up your mind to that, man, oh man, you'll be really introducing yourself, back to your true self, and begin to remember who you are again. And that's what this is about. Putting away all of the childish things and moving on to adulthood, to be in control of your actions fully, knowingly and unknowingly, and getting yourself right and prepared. And when the time comes, it's all here to help you grow and develop to where the Most High wants you to be in His will. And it's very important, because what I found on this good journey is I begin to listen and listen more, and continue to keep listening and listening more, and working on myself and detaching myself from things that I know is not good for me, and keep going with that. And I'm still working on that now, as far as still detaching myself from things that is not good for me, right? Taking care of my own self, continuing, because as you're going through different levels of this thing, it's gonna be even more tests, even more things you're gonna go through, and you just gotta remember to stay true to who you are and be true, and regardless of what's happening on the outside world. That's why it's so important to spend time with yourself. You gotta be, in a way, your own best friend, because again, family, you have to be the one to build your relationship with the Most High. You, the Most High, is all you need in this life, right? Because that's what, of course, omnipotent Jesus, Joshua, Timus, Horus, or that's what he said. You always representing the Father, going back to the Father, kneeling to the Father, our Father who art in heaven, right? Our Father, not his Father, our Father who art in heaven, right? He's always representing the Father, so that's why I do that. That's why I speak on the Most High, because that's what he said do, right? So it's all about listening, right? And like I said before, if you listen to all the noble prophets, you listen to what the messages they come to bring, listen to all our great leaders out here that came out here speaking lessons and what they came to bring, all of it connects in some way, shape, or form. They're trying to tell you something, and all of it does matter depending on the state of mind that you're in. You can grab hold of it all, each of the messages, to lead you up to where you need to be, right? All of it matters. We're all family. All of it matters. And that's what it's about. It's not about us being in different states and dividing into all these different things. We're all one. We're all one. And we can all have the universal rights, knowledge, because that sums it up in all. We teach on all of it. And it leads you up to where it all came from. Ancient Kemet, Tamaray, Egypt, mystery schools, all of it. The lesser schools and the greater schools, all of it matters. That's what we're talking about here. But you won't know that anciently. You won't know that unless you did your homework and checked out the scrolls and the readings for yourself, because that's what's going to help you understand, and grow. Now, not to say, okay, everyone's saying, I hear people saying, it's not just about reading, right? Of course it's not just about reading, family. You also got to apply it to your life. You got to start making some moves. You got to start making some changes. You got to start moving some furniture around. You got to start cleansing some house, right? Inside your temple, and externally cleaning your house. You got to get yourself together, right? Cleansing yourself. And this is what I did, right? And it's let go of all those things and bad habits I cleaned on to, and all of these things I share on my channel, right? Letting go of all those things, and then eventually, feeling comfortable enough to do what I know I need to do. Putting on my white robe and doing what I need to do, right? Because you're moving in the right way, and your intentions are good, and moving with sincerity, and you moving how you need to be moving, and flaws and all. Just saying, flaws and all, because just because you have on your white robe, it doesn't mean that you're perfect. You make mistakes, you do, you are not your white robe, but that's how we're supposed to dress and move, right? That's how you're supposed to be, right? Covering yourself, right? That's how we're supposed to be moving out here, right? That's what you're supposed to be doing out here. And as you continue to put it on, eventually it's like In a way, I like to call it, this is just me. It makes me better, right? When I have it on, it just makes me feel better, right? And it makes me want to do better, right? When I have it on, because yeah, you can't be doing this stuff when you have it, right? Well, I'm not like that, you just feel a certain way. Your spirit, your soul starts speaking to you more. Like, it just helps you out throughout the day too, so it just kind of helps you as you like, okay. And again, you could still be doing things that you're white or on. People choose to do whatever they choose to do, right? But I'm just saying that for me, I still have that inner heart, like, no, we ain't doing that. You gotta talk to yourself. Right? And so that's what it's about. You gotta talk to yourself. Make sure you're moving right, getting yourself right? And and it's an ongoing process. You're gonna constantly be working on yourself and changing and letting go of things. And through time, you'll get to where you need to be, where the Most High wants you to be, right? Because that's clearly all that matters here, right? That is all that matters, where the Most High wants you to be. Not where you want you to be, not where these other people want you to be. It's where the Most High wants you to be. That's it. That's all that matters. And so, once you begin to really take care of yourself and clean yourself up, you begin to see what I'm talking about in time. Right on time. So, I know through time and patience with yourself, you can do this. This journey is not easy. It's not easy, but in time, it gets easier. This is just my experience. It gets easier through time. Once you begin to conquer and know how to move, eventually you'll get stronger and stronger. And you won't be doing the same thing you've been doing. You don't want to do that things anymore. And when the stuff come that you're not supposed to be doing, you'll stand strong on that. You'll stand on, your 10 toes. You'll stand on it. You'll stand on the truth, right? So, I'm just saying that all of it, is to help you get back into the heavens, paradise clearly within, right? And living like you're already in heaven, on earth, right? You gotta be inwardly living that, right? That's what you're working on, right? Cleansing yourself up, all the dirty stuff that we didn't, learned in this realm, all that backwards living and destroying ourselves and all this stuff, and we want to clean it on up and get ourselves together, That's what this is about. You don't want to live that way no more. You know where that leads to self-destruction. Keyword, because we're doing it to ourselves. We got to learn how to take care of ourselves and love ourselves more. And we begin to share that love with other people once we begin to love ourselves more. People begin to see the change in you. People begin to see you for who you are, right? Not to say that you're not going to still express certain emotions when you feel a certain way. Right? And I know I do that. And people look at me like, wait, what? Yeah, I express anger sometimes. Yes, I do. Yeah, I can get spicy. Yeah, I do. Because I care. And it's coming from a place of love, whether people realize it or not. And most people, they don't understand, right? They don't understand. They don't think that. They're like, what's going on? You can, type of talking like, you talk on your channel. You can talk like you talk on your channel, all nice and, But let me just say this, family. Let me just say, I'm not being bothered on my channel like that, and when I'm trying to express it with people that I truly care about and love, and they're not hearing me like that. Sometimes it caused me to get a little, higher in tone, and let's go there. We're going there. Yeah, I'm going there. They may not. I'm going there because I care. And when people try to make me look like I'm the problem, right? Yeah. And because they're telling me that I need to learn how to control my emotions, right? When everything inside of me is telling me that things aren't truly what they seem. I gotta let you know, because guess what? Why? Why I gotta let you know? Why? Because I love you. That's why. I love you. That's why. And I'm gonna let that be known. I'm not gonna sit here and watch you. I'm gonna tell you what's up. I'm not gonna continue like, yeah, no, that's cool, no, this and that. No, we ain't doing that. I'm gonna tell you what's up. Because why? Because I care. Why? Because I love you. And I hope it will eventually come where you can see that in time. And that's it. Because family, man, oh man. Let me just say this too. People feel like because you live in your life a certain way that you can't express a form of anger or things like that. And let me just say, honest in Jesus, Yahshua, Him or express anger. He gets mad. He got mad. Flipped over tables at the churches. He got mad. He flipped over tables. He expressed anger. He went in. I'm just saying. People think that, it's this way. It's a certain way you gotta be, and that's so far from the truth. You have to be yourself. And people try to make it seem like it's just this, oh yeah, I don't know, like, what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that people just make it seem like it's just, you don't supposed to do certain things like that. And I'm just looking like, yeah, you don't have to express yourself in certain ways, but if it come out, then it come out, and that's real. That's real. You're not trying to hurt anybody. You're not trying to harm. You just it come out that way. Sometimes it does. It come out raw, for real. And sometimes you snap. You do. And you know what? That is, to me, that's okay. That's okay. Because guess what? Y'all need to check out the real story, the true story of Yahshua in the holy tablets. And the Bible is in it too. Right? Check it out. It's more detailed than the holy tablets. Check that out. It's on the channel. Because family, we have to remember, family, that nobody is perfect out here. And yes, we want to be good examples out here. Yes. But when situation calls for certain things where you just need to, sometimes get people to hear you at times, because when you're a certain way all the time, and, it's just different emotions come out in different situations. And it's needed for different situations at different times in your experiences, is what I'm saying. And that is okay, family. That is okay. Just saying. It is okay. So let me just say that again. Sometimes when I speak like this, some people don't hear me. Right? Like how I speak on my channels. Sometimes people, when I speak like this, they're like, okay. And then when I'm just like, on some cool, calm, they don't hear me. And it's not until I elevate my voice and, and then maybe later on they may hear you better. I don't know. But it be like that sometimes. And it feel like that sometimes. Really. I'm just like, I don't understand why, but or maybe I do, but you gotta use it for different situations depending on what is needed. That's all I'm saying. So you just gotta be true to yourself. And when I'm true to myself, when I'm being who I am, regardless, just saying, that's all that matters. Multi knows, and that's all that matters. And all you can do is be true to you. And you moving, and you coming from a good place, an 11 place, and it don't matter if they don't know, but then of course that's all that matters, right? So I just went off on something else, but I thought let that be known for the person that may be listening on my channel, because I know some of y'all may be listening. So anyway, man, oh man, I'm leaving it at that, and I love y'all all right now. So I'm gonna leave it at that again, family. And again, know that you are loved beyond this world and in it. Begin to spread that love one to another. Be the peace that you seek. Release our master teacher, Dr. Malachi ZRL. Peace, shalom, hashuk, divine love, family, and wadu. And it's all